What's up, guys? I'm excited to give you this freaking presentation today. This is awesome. I'm going to give you a brief presentation on the history of finance, the origins of finance. So, what are the origins of finance? What is finance really? What is it a history of? What is the skill of finance? Okay? Because the origins of finance, really, at the end of the day, is the history of how non rich people learned how to get rich. Okay? That is all that finance is. Because there have always been royalty, there's always been elites, there's always been families that have controlled power, land, oceans, right? So, how finance is actually more of a story of how ordinary people legally made money, legally became rich. Okay? So let's keep moving. So let's start out with visuals. How do the largest private equity funds, asset managers like State Street and Vanguard, what how do they portray themselves, right? And so obviously you're going to see right in your freaking face that they are using these clipper ships, right, as their logos. And why is that, right? And you'll see this with so many hedge funds, private equity funds all over the entire world. They continue to use this image of a clipper ship, a sailboat. And there's actually a very, very obvious reason why. Okay. So back in the day, there were kings, right? And kings starting around the year you could say in like 300 BC in the Mediterranean and more like year 90 to year 200, 300 AD in kind of the Nordic Viking example that we're using here. Kings were able to build ships that were able to cross large channels or seas, right? Not oceans, okay? And when you have a ship, you need other people to use the ship to explore and other things, right? So what I'm getting at is the first hedge fund was actually a ship, all right? Literally, a first hedge fund, private equity fund, the first fund was a ship. And who do kings give the ships to use? They give it to people like our boy Ragnar here. If you're not familiar with the show Vikings, I highly recommend it. But it tells the story pretty nicely. So Ragnar is a man with vision. He sees something no one else can see, and he is a genuine and authentic leader. So this king gives Ragnar the boats to go and do what? To get more money, right? You leave with people and stuff with the boats, and the deal is you come back with more stuff, more people, blah, 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 right? And when you come back, you get a percentage of what you bring back. Okay, so this is literally the origins of finance. It looks like this: kings, boats, and ambitious, high testosterone, visionary leaders of men who who basically force these kings or not or persuade these kings, which we'll talk about in a different video. The financial persuasion will be a new video. Um, to basically go on these adventures, right? Okay, so let's break this down even more. The first fund doesn't matter if it's a private equity fund, a hedge fund, a venture fund. A fund means you're taking assets, money, boats, land, capital from people who are richer than you. Okay? If you make them richer with the assets that they gave you, you get a percentage of the new value that you created. Okay? So back then, how did they use these ships? So this is a what is this ship called? Fucking doesn't matter. That's a Mediterranean ship that was used before Christ was here. Okay? And how did they get richer using these boats? They looted They went on these treasure hunts, they explored, they went to war, they even farmed. That was like an even earlier example than boats, was actually just farming on the land, right? But obviously you couldn't get that rich off of farming, you know. We've known that for a long time. And now, what do these funds do? The funds, they arbitrage value, they merge smaller companies with giant corporations, they blitzscale in internet companies. That's really what these finance institutions do now. And so, if you understand investment products, you will also realize that they're often referred to as vehicles. And this is why. This is why they're referred to as vehicles. Okay. So, what the core message of this video is, nothing has changed. The technological conditions, the, a lot of the things aesthetically have changed. Okay. Visually and conditionally, things have changed, but nothing practically speaking has changed. If you want to get rich, you need to learn how to persuade richer people than you that you can make them more money. It is that simple. And if you can develop that skill of storytelling, of leadership, okay, those are the skills that are going to get you to unlock and break through as an entrepreneur, fund manager, whatever, right? Because at the end of the day, at the core of all those pursuits is capital allocation. And you don't get capital unless you can garner trust. All right. So that's today's video. This is great. Let's keep doing these. All right. See you guys.